Hi guys, my name is Stefan Muvunyi, and I was just working on this, and I'm gonna present to you the history of the NBA. So, and on the history of NBA, we're gonna talk about the introduction to NBA. It's the first thing that we're gonna talk about, and then we're going to talk about the early years, and then we're going to talk about the rise of the legends, and then we're going to talk about the Magic Bird era. Those are two people legends, and then we're going to talk about the Jordan era, and then we'll talk about the modern era. So let's begin. So about the NBA, as you see, it was founded on June 6, 1946, but it wasn't called the NBA as the National Basketball Association. It was named as the Basketball Association of America, and it was later nominated as NBA in 1949. So its headquarters is in New York, USA, and today, as you see, is the best league of basketball in the whole world. So let's begin with the early years of the early years when it began. It was in the 1940s. We're going to talk about basketball, the NBA basketball in 1940s to 1950s to 1950s. So the first game was from the Toronto Huskies versus the New York Knicks. And though I didn't say about the NBA, teams are from states. You know, the states of the United States of America. The teams are named based on the states. The first name is for the states, and the second is the I don't know, it's like Warriors, Grizzlies, like empowerment. I think a name which can empower your team. But the first is the of the state. So it was the Toronto from Canada, Toronto Huskies versus New York Knicks. And Toronto is the only team which isn't part of the from the United States. As you know, the NBA is for United States teams, except Toronto, which is from Canada. So the first game was from Toronto Huskies versus the New York Knicks. And in the early stages, the as like I said, the goat or the greatest of all time at that time, the best player was George Mikan, who was the first superstar, which who came and played for the Minneapolis Lakers. And that on from that day it was where the 24 seconds. If you know basketball, you one team has must have a possession of the ball for only 24 seconds. Okay, and it also they were introduced African American players, like I don't want to be racist, but black people. So like black people before they were only white people, but later, as the major step toward diversity, they all came together, and it was they were all able to play the game without saying either the whites or blacks. Together they played. So the rise of legends in 1960s, 1970s. So as you can see in the image, there's Bill Russell who played for the Boston Celtics, who won 11 championships in just 13 years. That's if you watch basketball, that is very very incredible. And at that time, there were rivalries between Will Chamberlain and Bill Russell. So Will Chamberlain played in the Golden State Warriors, and at that time it wasn't called Golden State Warriors. It had another name, but he also played also for the Lakers. While Bill Russell played for the Boston Lakers, and Boston are the most rival teams of the NBA. And also Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he played for the also for the Lakers, and yeah, that was in the early years of the 1960s, 1970s. So continuing to the Magic and Bird era. So Magic Johnson, as you can see on the picture, one is from the Celtics, Boston Celtics, other is for the Los Angeles Lakers. They are the rival teams of all time. So one played for the best as a football like Ronaldo and Messi. So Magic Johnson played for the Lakers, and Larry Bird played for the Celtics. They contended each year, and between the two, I prefer Larry Bird. I prefer Larry Bird over over the other guy, over Johnson. and that is 1980s. And Jordan, as you know, the GOAT, started in 1984, but at that time he wasn't quite famous. He, as you can see, he rose to prominence in 1991 to 1998, where he became an icon, and he won six championships in a row. Can you imagine that? In a row, like I know he had the best team, but so this guy came in the league and dominated it for six executive years, like 6 years in a row. And that's why his team, the Bulls, were the team of the decade. And speaking of the decade, sorry, I skipped aside. There's here another, here on that slide, I can see that is the on the modern era. So this is the modern era. Her, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, they became the face of the leagues, and they built super teams. You know, like major players, they came into one team. It wasn't fair. I can assure that it wasn't fair. But at that time, how can I say? So like they divided themselves into like four teams to become super so that they could compete and win a championship. It was tough to win a championship that time. So let's continue on the global and also in the yes on the global years. So there are many players: Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, Stephen Curry, and LeBron James. LeBron James is playing his this is his 23rd year, 22nd year. Can you imagine? So these in the NBA nowadays they just focus on player empowerment and also, as you can see, most of these players, they don't come from the United States. They come from European countries. So it shows how the NBA has opened up to other continents, and it continues as a symbol of sports and culture and global unity. Thank you very much. This was presented by Stefan Muvunyi. Thank you. If you are still watching this video, okay, bye.